Behind the Hooks. With Manny DeGrandis. And Daniel Panetta.
Well.
What is up?
Here we is.
Hi, Manny DeGrandis.
Oh, he took my line.
I did.
Hi, Daniel Panetta.
I'm gonna beat you to it every single time now.
We have an agreement. My name happened to be first in the intro because Daniel wrote most of it, and so Dan.
Pentatonic.
Oh, whose voice is that?
Pentatonic. Jesus Christ. I don't even know what I play, to be honest. So Mr. Lifter of my schmifter.
I thought you said sphincter.
That's where we're going, eh?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't.
We have a special guest.
Well, a guest.
Special.
No, we have a special,
And there's a guest.
and there's a guest.
And his name is...
Leo Gray.
Excellent.
What's going on, buddy?
Not much, guys. How you doing?
Everybody wave.
Right.
Can you see him? Can you see him?
Well, it's a Zoom world where everybody...
Can you see around my big square head? Is this look okay in the frame?
I think
We're just focused on you, back and front.
God.
Manny and I are not in the shot.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry in advance.
We're so glad that there's a person here.
Yeah, we love people.
Well, I brought gifts.
What? Oh my God! Bribery will get you everything.
So these are nice and clean and COVID whatever. So here's your little
Oh.
package. And here's your little package.
This
I don't know why I cleaned my own package, but I did.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Well, you know what? Yeah, let's dive in.
Well, I don't care if you don't, but I am.
I'm diving in.
I'll just tell you a quick little. I brought tonic.
please.
So I was endorsed by Jägermeister for 3 years with a band I was in years ago.
I remember.
And I ended up drinking with the president of Jaeger Germany at a show. And he was like blown away that us Canadians and Americans drank Jaeger with like Red Bull and stuff like that.
It's kind of
right?
sacrilege to them.
And he's
isn't
like,
it?
Yeah, it must be,
he's
yeah.
like, you don't do that, right? Well, I don't do accents well. So, anyways,
I don't know what that.
yeah, I don't know what that was either. It definitely wasn't German, but anyways,
Close.
He turned me on to Jaeger tonics. So if you're a fan of tonic, Jaeger tonics are tasty. But if you're not, then just Jaeger is fine as well.
I think tonic is the greatest mixer.
I
gin
didn't
tonic,
know the
like-
difference between soda water and tonic for years, and then recently I made a mistake. I was supposed to get soda water, and I didn't realize that it was Schweppes tonic water, and I took a sip of it. I was like, this tastes interesting.
Gin and tonics, man.
Gin and yeah, so I love gin and tonics. Jaeger tonics to me are very tasty, but to each their own. If you're not, either way, I brought you something.
Cheers,
so
buddy.
fuck off.
Thanks for this, and
Cheers.
thanks for coming.
All right.
Yeah, we drink.
That's a familiar taste.
Yeah. All right. There we go.
So, Leo Gray.
Why are you here?
Leo, okay, I want to preface this show. Obviously, Leo's a good friend of Manny and I, and we've known each other for years. Leo and I had a great way of meeting, but I won't get into that until the X-rated version of this show. Maybe a few more of these.
I don't know that story, so I might have to dig it out of you.
You know what? Yeah, it's a fucking podcast. Of course, we could talk about it.
I'm sorry.
No, we've been friends for years, all of us individually, and then all together. And you're always a great hang. I've missed you. I think the last time I saw you was the first gig in live, and then before that was the tour that you did.
Yes.
And you came to my house.
Yeah, we talked about that.
We did. We talked about that on our show.
Yep.
And you came and you did a tour from my place in Barrie all the way to Toronto.
Yeah.
And it was in support for
Massive tour.
MS. It was you and your wife.
Yep.
And you guys came, and it was such a great time. And at that point, nobody was playing with anybody yet. And you had this idea of just like doing like driveway.
Yeah, tell us.
Driveway
Tell
gigs.
us the whole story.
So, yeah, I mean, like everyone else, musician-wise, I went from having gigs to no gigs. So, sitting around playing playing with myself for months.
As we were.
Yeah, I decided, man, I really miss playing with other people. So, you know. Hello, camera.
Hello, camera. It's a fucking podcast. Who cares?
Anyway, so yeah, I came with this. I said to the wife, like, I'd love to just get together with a few singers that I have performed with before, and just do like a show at their house in their driveway, whatever, and let's raise some money for whatever. And she's like, yeah, let's raise some money for MS, and it's near and dear to our family's hearts. So it's like, great, we have a premise. Let's see who's available. So, I reached, initially I was like out of my mind and thought I was going to do like 10 singers in one day, which would have been like an 8 a.m. start. And then logistically had to get from one town to another, and not just the show part, but, traveling and setup and all that fun stuff. So it went from that down to, I think I did 5 singers in one day. And I started with Daniel Panetta.
So
it went up
you
from
came
there.
to my place around 12:30. I
Yep.
think it was around that time, and I had just blown out my tire
Oh,
on my car. So you were I woke up at like maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. Had to walk to the convenience store, get smokes and get pop and stuff like that. And it happened to be like the hottest day of the fucking month.
It was hot.
It was so hot.
smoking
It
hot.
was
Yeah.
so hot.
Yeah.
So you come high fucking noon, and my keyboard's melting.
Yeah.
And thankfully I have the PA system and stuff like that, so it wasn't too difficult of a setup, I hope. And
No, it was
we
great.
plugged in and played some tunes, and it was a blast.
It was
man.
blast. And the whole idea was, for some of my students, was to see that this was unrehearsed, right? And which is 99% of my gigging life, is that
Right.
you show up to a gig, you say hi to the people you're about to gig with, but sometimes you just meet at the gig.
Oh my
like
God.
you don't know who they are. And then you play songs, you bring songs to life. And as much as you and I played together, and you and I have played together, we never rehearse. So, I was like, okay, I'm showing up at your house. What songs do you want to play? And I'm going to play with you.
Yeah.
And every artist I played with that day, that was exactly what happened. It was impromptu, on the fly, 30-minute sets, set up, tear down, get the hell out, get to the next town. And I did 5 towns in a matter of 8 hours. And
Yeah, man.
That was awesome. Yeah, I
It was
showed up
so
to
much fun.
Bianca's
the
house
Bianca's one, yeah.
with the kids and the dog. Cause mostly I brought I was like, I gotta go because I felt bad for your wife, right? I'm gonna
feel
bring
bad
my
for her,
dog. I'm gonna bring my dog.
Yeah.
Because I know she loves dogs, and
Yep.
just for her, and show up, and it was the hottest day.
It was really hot.
But,
man.
we had a lot of hot days, but that was
We wore black like we always do.
Yeah.
You and I wore black.
Wore black.
You took off your shirt as you always do.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
and we
gross.
played, and it was so much fun, man. I don't know what it was. At that moment, and I was speaking for myself. We really take for granted that process of getting up, playing with your friends, and just doing the gig.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until that moment, because I think that was the first time I had played since COVID had started, where I didn't realize how much I took that for granted.
Yeah. Well, I remember vividly what you said to me as I was leaving, because you helped me carry out some gear, and you're like, I miss carrying gear.
I do.
And I
did.
was like, yeah.
You know what I started doing? It became a thing, and at that point I was living alone, and what I would start doing is just loading my car. I'm not fucking kidding.
I believe that.
I would load my car every Friday night when I got home from work. I would load my car, and then Saturday night I would unpack. I did that every week.
I know you would.
I did.
I know
until
you do.
Giggin' Live started. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy because that was it, right? Like, fuck, Leo, and then the next
Leo
one
and
was
then
with
Giggin'.
us.
Yeah.
But Giggin' Live.
Yeah.
Thank you for Giggin' Live 1.
Yeah.
Huge.
Unfortunately, Giggin' Live 2, you were booked.
Yep.
You weren't.
How
with-
dare I be booked during a pandemic?
But how the fuck were you booked
It's
Yeah.
Leo Gray.
2
He
times?
finds a way.
2 times in that 1 month. And
the
was
one month
the
that the world was open, for a brief second, I was booked. Well, yeah.
Oh
that's
man,
what
like I mean, Giggin' Live 1 was so special to me because I just reached out to friends and they all showed up.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow, like this is something real. And then you were so fucking cool to show up and bring the stage. And you stayed, like you literally guys built that.
Yeah.
That was a new stage.
Brand new stage, yeah.
Well, we're going to get into all that, right? And then, you know, and the system and the back line and people, you know, it was just such a fun day. And I put up a picture of like you, Jesse, Ben, and just being like, you know, it was all because of you guys. Like, yeah, whatever. I could call my friends to come play, but if it wasn't for you guys, internet would have sucked. And the live thing would have sucked, and it was so amazing because of that.
I want you to talk about what it was like as an organizer. I'm going to talk about what it was like as a guest.
So, like, I called Leo first, actually. He was the first guy I called before, because I'm like, I have a feeling I could get people to come play it, right? So, and then you're like, well, shitty for you to be the promoter and the right, like kind of thing, right? And I was like, oh my god, I guess
sounds about right.
I guess I am putting on a festival here.
I
right?
don't know
right?
any organizers that didn't have a heart attack before the age of 50, so
right,
you're ahead.
All right, Bob Geldof, let's put on a fucking show.
Well, I you know what? I was a Bob Geldof.
Yeah.
Where I just called all
We are the world.
all my friends that were more better than me to make it better. Because it was just, if it was left up to me, I'd be up there like,
You'd be noodling.
Here is a bass solo in C.
in C now.
Recital format.
Did my phone die? Because I'm not getting any comments or likes. I can't see. No, seriously. Like, I didn't even realize I was promoting or like doing any of that, because I was just like, just gonna call some friends, right?
Sure.
And it was like freaking glorious, because I mean, just like, I remember one of the girls that work here, like, she was leaving Friday night, and she's like, what the fuck's going on here, right? To get her car to leave, and we're like setting up, well, not we, you're setting up stages, and then you like got all this wicked gear from Yorkville.
Yeah.
Which was so sick, man. Like, oh my God. And, you know, so, I mean, for me, I didn't even realize I was doing anything important or I don't know, whatever. I was just like, I'm going to call my friends and play and call my friends, give them a gig, and everybody get a gig.
As well, you didn't call me for that one.
And, yeah, I said I was going to call my friends, right? So, no, Gigging Live 1 was super hard, because there was a lot of singles, duos, and stuff that start off the day.
Listen.
And
Ooh, it's in my ears.
Just listen, okay?
I wouldn't have had it any other way than to be an audience member at that show, because between what you did for that show, Leo, and the way that I got to see my friends happy. And I had already done, like, 4-1 Soul already did it the week before. So I was okay.
Yeah,
I was
got my
gigged up.
gig.
I was gigged up, right?
You tickled the gig bone.
I did, yeah. And I got to see you, Leo, after, you know, I hadn't seen you since you came to the house for the MS one. And as an audience member, you know, I had brought a date, but I didn't pay attention to her.
Don't worry, I did.
Yeah.
Well, she was looking
kidding,
at
I
me.
did not.
Oh!
Yeah. No one likes the bass player. Anyways, go on.
It's true.
That's true.
It's so true.
You know what it was? It
You
was.
don't play guitar. Get off of me.
I just like I missed it all. You know, like I
Yeah.
I was looking at the speakers on the stage, and I saw the stage.
Speakers were so sexy.
And Leo running around with his iPad and just like and EQing everything. And I remember going to like shows before this crap and like seeing you do that, and you come sit at the table with us and you'd be like EQing stuff, and you're like, watch this, and just turn up the fucking reverb or the delay on somebody's voice and just mess with them. And you did it to me so many times. And I missed it. I missed it so much, and I took it for granted, and I think we all did.
Yes,
And it was just like we
for
got
sure.
together and we knew it was special for Gig and Live
Yeah.
1. We knew it was special because we hadn't done it for so long, but it was like riding a bike and everything was just, it felt like it was supposed to be that way. And it was like, I went home that night, and I'm not going to lie, I sobbed because I was just like, we took this for granted.
Yeah.
For
We
sure
really did.
Yeah.
All of us did. In one way or another. And we obviously we're so thankful that people come out and they support us as musicians and as entrepreneurs and business people to put on shows and entertain people. We took it for granted.
Yeah.
We did. As musicians too.
But did we though? There's another part of it
We
where
were grateful. We were always grateful.
okay.
But I think what happened was
that's the
we
big-
we were so used to the routine and we were so in that moment and the adrenaline's going and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We didn't. We none of us paused to really understand what it meant
Yeah.
to take it all away.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
was what was so important about Gang Alive 1, and that's what's so
important about our jobs, I think,
about
too.
what we do and what you do, Leo. And let's talk about it now. Tell us about RENTASTAGE,
So yes,
please.
So RENTASTAGE
Yes,
is
clever
what
name,
the
eh?
first thing I did was like, we needed a stage. Who do you call? RENTASTAGE.
Hey, is that a jingle?
I'm trying to friggin'
I'm not talented enough to write one of my own.
we expect residuals at the end of the month.
Done.
$50. Give me $50. I'll put some keyboard on it.
SoCan will be calling.
But seriously, so this is really like, and I made a joke about it, but like when we did Gig and Live 2, I called Leo and he couldn't do that date, and I was like, what the fuck? Like
Damn.
seriously, like we have like nobody's friggin' working, right? And a lot of the musicians that have been on here and stuff, we've all realized like we're all like, woe is me, but like woe is the other shit, right? Like at least we get to go do. I said this, we get to go up and do a live stream on our computers and on our laptops and shit. But these guys aren't like all the other guys behind the scenes. You know, they're not allowed to go on a live stream and pull out their amps.
Yeah.
And pull it back, right? The backline guys and the studio. So.
Can you explain to our listeners what a back? Actually, Leo.
So what do you do? What do you do?
What do
for,
I do?
Before we do anything,
Yeah.
can you explain to our listeners in the best possible what is a backline?
Backline. So backline, to make it easy, all the amps, the drum kit, the bass amp, all the stuff that people plug into to make noise. Let's do that. Or hit. Yeah, right. So the big things are usually the drum kit, the bass amp, and the guitar amps, right? So that the band can show up and not have to lug that through a field to get out to wherever you're seeing them play, and just plug their instruments in. That's backline.
So you mean to tell me that these artists and these bands aren't playing their actual stuff?
No, it's weird.
They don't own it?
Yeah,
But they
don't.
always did before, I think.
Yeah,
way
back in the
like-
day for sure. But things have changed. You guys have played festivals, so have I. And when they say to you, hey, there's amps available, there's a drum kit available, you just have to show up with your instruments. Then that takes a lot of onus off of you to have to lug that, right? So you don't have to pile that in your car. You can just show up and plug in and play through whatever the company that's doing all the tech stuff has provided to you. Sometimes it's good, and then sometimes it's
No, but
Not
with
good.
you, actually, with RENTASTAGE is always good.
RENTASTAGE, you guys are awesome. I've seen a few of your shows that you're putting on, and when we went to Bradford, I think it was for Carrot. Was it for the Carrot Festival?
Carrot
That
Fest, yeah.
Jack and I showed up.
Yeah,
for that.
yeah.
And we're hanging out with you and Chris, and it was so much fun. Like just hanging out. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I don't know what it is. You guys probably feel the same way too. When you're going there, and you know somebody behind the scenes, and like you're not looking for any special treatment or anything like that. You're just there because you know the people and you know the experience of it, and you just like not having to do the work.
Yeah.
And you're just like being behind the scenes, like, oh, you're doing it that way. That's cool. All right,
Honestly,
sweet.
when I go to a festival, I'm like, oh, cool. It's nice not to be playing. It's nice to watch. But
You don't get that opportunity because you're
No.
always goddamn
'Cause
working.
If you're not gigging, if you're not on, okay. So Leo's the kind of guy that will not only supply the stage and then the back line, but then you'll play like the 2 in the
Well, I did that for that show.
and that show too. You did a little quick thing. With,
I did a quick
with
with
Krista.
yeah.
Right, but why? Like, okay, I want to go back to the back line. Like,
Sure.
honestly, every time like Leo, like he'll send me a message like, "What do you think of this bass amp, man? What do you think of this?" Like they give a shit about what they're bringing.
For sure.
And then he like talking when you were doing the Jazz Fest, like what bass amp should I bring for you know, I got upright players. Like not all companies are like this. There is a few that are, but
companies, not a lot of people are like that.
People don't give a fuck. Anyways, don't let me go down that road.
It's true.
But like no, but there's a huge people need to know that like you would call me and be like, what do you think about this as a bass player? What do you think about that? And I know if you're doing that to me, you're gonna do that to like the guitar players. You're like, because you worry about the backline.
You care.
And how many times you're like Monday morning I would see you and you'd be like, yeah, man, everybody love that gear or like whatever. Because your gear rocks, right? So So
appreciate it, man.
Backline done, right? So Rent-A-Stage, yes. But the stages,
It does not
man.
stop there.
Yeah,
The
that's where it
stages,
started.
like-
was the stages. Yeah.
So tell us about like how you started this, like how you guys, not you, how you guys started this, why you started this, maybe. Yeah, just give us a story, a little history.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go bio. Quick bio. All right.
At Rent-A-Stage Canada, we focus on providing mobile stage rentals, sound services, and lighting with complete customer satisfaction. We will meet and exceed all your expectations. We specialize in small to medium outdoor festivals and have provided complete stage and production services for over 150 festivals in Ontario. Our stages and production trailers are designed and built to maximize efficiency in an effort to reduce costs for you, the client. See for yourself at rentastage.ca and book your consultation today.
And we're back. So, Leo.
Yeah.
We've been playing around this and whatever, but tell us how you started Rent-A-Stage, why you guys started it, who's with you, why did you do it?
Man, it's got to be like 7 years ago. It literally came from playing a bunch of stages as a working musician, right? So I never was in the tech part of it at all, aside from setting up my own PAs, like you guys have probably done at hundreds of shows. You know, twice. Yeah, you're a bass player. Gotcha.
I got this, all right?
You know, through teaching, you know, I had a bunch of students and, you know, you meet the parents of the students. And I met this gentleman named Chris McMahon. And I was helping out his daughter's band, youth band, basically play some shows and whatnot. And I was, you know, coming out to their shows and mixing on a little box mixer, you know. And
well, you gave me a sound gig because you were playing a gig, and because like some of them were my students too. Like
that's right.
And oh my god,
and it was like go mix the kids.
Yeah,
you know?
and I was like, yeah,
show up to this bar and mix those kids.
But what was great about it was lobster night, so I'm like sitting there mixing them and eating lobster. It was the best.
Now I want lobster.
Yeah, lobster. It would be good.
But they were so good.
They were great. The kids were great, and the idea came because Chris McMahon, my business partner, basically said to me, he goes one day, he actually turned to me and said, what would one of those stages cost? Because we were playing some festival that I normally play, and I had the kids open up. And I'm like, I don't know. A stage? Like, I'm a musician. I'm thinking about the price of my guitar strings.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not thinking about a stage. And he started looking into it. We started chatting, and we bought our first stage from Stage Line out of Montreal, who makes the best stages in the world. And
they're every live gig.
Everywhere.
They're there.
They are the industry standard for a live performance stage, and they make stages that are small. The smallest one's like 16 by 20, and they go up from there to massive. What you see Garth Brooks playing for, you know, the Super Bowl, right? So like massive things. So we started with one. And it was kind of like, oh, maybe we'll do some backyard parties. Maybe we'll do the odd little festival.
Well, the first one was, okay, two things. But Stage Line doesn't only just sell you the thing. They teach you.
Oh, yeah. That is part of it. They train you on how to, well, they won't even let you take the stage until they've trained you on how to work the stage, right?
Yeah. So you got to spend all weekend in Montreal.
Oh, yeah.
To learn how
Which
to
is
do
never
the
horrible.
stage.
Never. I mean, there are worse things.
Worst things you could do.
There are worse things.
Episode 2
but
will
that's-
be Montreal.
No.
That's commendable because
Yeah.
it's not just a plug and play thing. Like you're taking the time to do this and invest
It's not a
your
joke.
time,
It's not a joke.
it's no
money,
joke. No.
experience, and do it properly.
Do it proper, yeah. So we did the proper training, and I remember the first time we set it up in Chris's driveway, and you came by with your kids, and like we only set up like half of it, and your kids were jumping on it, and I'm like, what are we gonna do with this thing? Like I was scared. I was literally like, what? How do we do anything with this? How do we get our money
That's
back?
not our mindset as players.
As musicians, no, definitely
don't.
not.
Thank
we
God
really-
for Chris to
We
like.
really don't think
yeah.
about this stuff.
So
We
what
don't.
did Chris do?
He threw a backyard party, and we set up this damn stage, and it was awesome.
The way he got it there, though.
Oh yeah,
Like-
he lives in like the Holland Marsh, and the only way to get to his backyard is like through this trail way beyond his property, and you're literally right beside a ravine, and he's dragging this 8,000-pound stage that literally has 2 lines for the tires, and if you deviate an inch one way or the other, you will fall in the ravine. And I didn't even show up. I'm like, I can't watch that, because if you drop the stage in the ravine, it's just it's over. I don't even know what to. I don't know. I'm still worried about my guitar strings. I don't know what's going on here. Right? So,
It's GC or GD. I don't know.
but he did it. He's the man's a machine, and he pulled that stage in, and we set it up, and we invited our friends to play, and it was a great night and whatnot. And it's like, okay, and we started just small, just like, okay, we have this one stage, and we got into a few very small like town festivals. Like, hey, you need a stage.
Well, the
for
first one,
whatever.
I keep interrupting this guy.
Yeah, do it.
But like the first one was a youth show,
That was at the arena,
right? That is very important to
Yeah,
me. This is very important to me because, well, even bigger. But
Your kid played on that one.
Yeah, you and your kid played on that. It was
But
awesome.
not even that part. Is just like you guys were like, okay, well, we did the backyard party.
You had to deflate
So
your tire for that one.
So we're gonna rent the Bradford Arena.
Yeah.
Put our stage in Bradford Arena. I don't even know how you did that either.
Very hard.
And then we're just gonna have the kids play.
Just the kids.
And then all of a sudden, like 2 weeks before the gig, I'm like, yeah, I think my daughter might be okay to open up. And they're like, yeah, sure, she's on, right? And like, so me and my
Just like
daughter
that,
are up on the stage. But so at
Great
Sorry.
photos of that gig. That was
oh
awesome.
my god, oh my god! And the best part was like my daughter was so nervous she just grabs the mic from like Carolee, who was the MC.
Yeah.
but like she walked in and my daughter walked in. She's like, nah, I'm not doing this because it was like
It was
So
it
grandiose.
was off.
Yeah.
Like she's like, I thought we were just playing for Leo, Uncle Leo, right? Like, and like not realize, she's like,
But she
8,
was.
right, but
In a
like,
way.
Yeah.
But why did you guys choose again to promote the kids? Like
It was always important that
Yeah.
the kids had an outlet that we didn't. So like I never got a chance as a youth to play anything of the sort where the production's provided. So there's a stage and lights and backline and monitors and PA and some sound guy.
You didn't play church basements?
Yeah, like that was never my reality. And any shows I played, even through high school, were you set up your own stuff, right? So if you got lucky enough to play the school show or whatever it was, maybe somebody else set it up, but for the most part, you didn't. So the fact that we as teachers had ability to mold these kids and form these kid bands, and it was now like, let's give them an opportunity to play an arena. Even if it's Bradford Arena, it's an arena.
It's an
That's
arena.
nuts.
Freaking arena.
At the age of 8, your daughter got to play Bradford Arena. Like, I can't say that. So
Oh my God.
that was very cool. And yeah, we had some vendors there, and we took it upon ourselves to figure out how we were going to do that, which was a nightmare. We got the stage in, and
Dude, I just remember the post you were putting up on Facebook is like, well, this is happening.
it was a long, treacherous road to get into.
So you
Bradford
had
Arena.
to deflate the tire to get the stage in the unit.
Oh my
We were newbies.
God.
You have to understand. We had the stage, and we saw that the old Bradford Arena is as a typical old hockey barn. So it's a barn. It's not like the arenas they build now where there's these gigantic doors to get stuff in, not just the Zamboni, other stuff. Right? So we measured the door. It's like, oh, it's 11 feet. The stage is 10 feet 5 inches. We didn't realize the incline going in means that the stage is now higher than the door.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, it's hard to think about all of that,
you
man.
Don't know,
You don't
right?
know anything
You don't know
until you do it.
anything. So we got up there and like, oh. And I remember actually I was on top of the stage as it's being towed in. And my pinky is between the frame of the door and the top of the stage. And I'm like, deflate the tires some more. And we would just deflate them and we would drag it 1 inch at a time. And I'd be like, no, a little bit more, a little bit more. And we dragged it. It took probably 2-3 hours to just drag it in, and then the setup, which was an extra 3 to 4 hours. Oh. You know, because you're setting up the stage, and then there's lights, and lights take forever. And then there's the back line, then miking it all up, the PA, and
do you guys understand what this takes? You're talking barricades. You're talking platforming. You're talking all of it. It's
people
just
don't know.
It's mind-boggling because usually you'll get one company to do one thing, another company to do another thing. So like one company will do the sound, the other company will do the stage. You're doing all of it.
Yeah.
You're giving this package deal. It's like
that day
you're giving them that
like,
experience.
But no, not only that part, they also got vendors to come in. Yeah. You guys did everything.
Absolutely everything.
And every artist that played that day was under 18. I think.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Every single one.
It was redonkulous. I just remember
So there's this.
This is so amazing.
There's this ongoing theme on this show that I'm starting to get pissed off with. Okay, it's that you guys.
It's all dudes. We interview dudes.
No, I mean that's cool. All right, you guys are all fucking 15 to 20 years older than me.
I know.
And I look 10 years older than all of you, and I'm pissed off because the amount of responsibility that it takes to put on a show, whether it's youth or the shows that I've seen you do where, you know, you're putting on festivals or anything like that. Why don't you look 90? What the fuck? You love it that much.
Because,
you know what?
I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
Because show 1 in Chris's backyard, show 2 at Bradford Arena, they learned.
Oh, massively. Like, I mean, like after we finished that Bradford Youth Fest, which was awesome. Like, there's nothing more rewarding as a teacher to see your students up on stage and just other random kids that you didn't know who just phoned and said, I want to take part. And you're like, yep. Just like you did what we did with your art. You're like, she wants to play? Yep. More the merrier. Let's just get them on stage. Let's let them have an experience that I never had, that most of us never had. So they got to do it. And then after the show, we tore it all down. We dragged it out there. And it's like, wow, that was hard. You know, but I enjoyed absolutely every second of it. And it's something that with RENTASTAGE, we enjoy the process of what we do. We enjoy the process of building the stage, setting up the lights, the sound, going through the whole day of mixing a bunch of bands that will be some mediocre and some amazing, you know, and you have to deal with egos and you have to deal with people. And then after all that's said and done, tearing all of that down, packing it back up into your trailers, taking it home. And it's like 3-4 in the morning. It's pissing rain, you know, like, and it was hot all day. Now it's raining and now you're hurting. You just put in an 18-hour day and you have to be up in like 3 hours to do it again in some other town, right?
Well, especially in the summer when you got Saturdays, Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday
so
shows.
Your week is usually a Thursday to Sunday and you do more in those 4 days than most people do in a week, right? So
in a month.
Oh,
well, there's your 80 hours there.
Yeah, like it's insane. I remember it was 2 years, well, not last summer, but the summer before for Canada Day, because Canada Day is a big day for any production company, right? Especially in Canada. So, well, actually anywhere. So it's a massive day. So you're putting on shows everywhere. I have multiple stages going into multiple places. The crew all meets. So as a RENTASTAGE team, we meet at the place where we have all our stages. We know what stage is going with who, what trailers are going with who, all the gear, and you're sitting there going, okay, you guys go do this, you're going to this town, you're going to that town. And it's a mindset of going, enjoy the day, enjoy the process, enjoy what's happening. And everyone we hire does. Like, they're true consummate professionals of going, we enjoy this process, we enjoy making other musicians sound good. And I have a lucky benefit of being a working musician who's also behind the scenes. So as a tech, I love the artistry in teching for somebody. Yeah. So I love if I know you're on the vocal mic going, okay, he probably wants this in his monitor. He probably wants this amount of reverb.
You've never let me down anytime you've done sound
that
I've been doing any work with you. So there's something to be said. You just know.
And I have this. I enjoyed that process, and I don't sit there going, man, I wish I was on stage. I go there going, man, I love these guys on stage and what they're doing is awesome. And I want to make it sound as awesome to the people in the audience. Because the people in the audience, like you've just alluded to, lose the fact or miss the fact that there was probably like 9 hours of setup before this moment that just they're seeing. And then there's going to be another 9 hours after that.
But even us musicians don't see that. We don't get a chance to see that. And you as a musician yourself, first and foremost, not only having the opportunity to experience that, but also giving yourself a chance to be that guy. That you're our depend. Yeah. You are that guy on all accounts, you know. And there's nobody, and I'm saying this to our listeners, if you're gonna have somebody who you want to make you sound good but also look good, I've never trusted anybody more than you.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Whether we were playing on a gig together or you were just doing the sound, the way that you orchestrate the sound equipment, you're on the gig. You are part of the band. And you make us laugh. Because there's stuff going on stage. There's stuff going on stage that we're hearing that nobody else is going to hear, but we know it's you.
Oh, yeah.
And you put your flair on things. And
It's not flair. He puts himself in the monitor.
he's there.
And he's
with us. He's with us. But it's so comforting. And it's not
like
just...
It's either you're singing backup, he's like off.
But it's Leo.
Wrong note,
And it
Manny.
has nothing to do with you being our friend. It's just the kind of person you are. You are so approachable. You're so accommodating. You know the answers to every question that we have because you're one of us. And that is so important. I can't tell you. I mean, you've played those gigs where the sound guy, he's not a musician. He's just studied the engineering process of doing the gig, and he just knows what's going to be appealing through the speakers, not to the people.
Which is a weird thing because I'll be honest with you, I haven't studied at a school for sound. I never went through that. And weirdly enough, most of the guys I've hired have not done that either. But they have all gone through the School of Hard Knocks. They've gigged. They've played, they've experimented. So they've put in the time, right? So when you put in the time, you gain real world experience, which I feel is way more valuable than anything.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, and because I have played, I'm not a drummer, but I've played drums in a band. I've played bass for many people.
Well, you've done everything.
I've been the lead singer. Yeah. So when I do monitors for people, I go, this is probably what they want to hear, and then they can adjust on the fly. They can tell me what they want. And 9 times out of 10, it's close enough. And they're like, first of all, they're just happy that there's gear that works and that they can hear themselves, right?
So taken for granted.
You know, and it's so taken
for granted.
It works. It's like, oh my God, it showed up and what they told me would be here is here.
Yeah.
Right? So we take big pride at RENTASTAGE that we try to provide as the best quality gear we can and the service behind it because it's important. I truly feel, and you guys can probably have tons of stories behind this, when you show up to a gig and the sound guy has that typical bias on his shoulder and treats it with disrespect, it almost takes away from the show you're about to provide.
Well, now I'm stressing about that
right?
while I should be putting on a show.
And you want to show up, and I don't care what level of player you're at, but you're showing up to do a show. And I want you to be comfortable and calm during that show and do the show you came to do. And if I can do that through my personality or, you know, the people I hire through their personality, and we can give you a venue to do that through a great stage, great lights, great sound, great equipment, and people come off stage and go, man, my friends are happy with how we sounded, then we won. Like, that's the win, right?
100%.
Yeah, that's the win.
Well, I've done it in stadiums where, look, I gotta work my ass off to get to the point of getting to that stadium stage, right?
Sure.
So doing the rehearsals.
Why'd you get hired in the first place?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So going to the hotel rooms to practice with people, going to the rehearsal spots to practice with people, working with the choreographer, working with the vocal coach, working with all of these coaches
Kangles.
and everybody.
I read that in the internet. Did you do Kangles?
Shut up.
Is that just a girl thing?
It's just a girl thing.
Okay. Okay.
Good job, Manny. Segueing to the inappropriateness.
Yeah.
But we do all of this work behind the scenes. When we get to the stage, the last thing we want to think about is somebody else's job.
Yes.
And somebody else's, well, you know, okay. being worried about somebody else's job versus being worried about what you think is somebody else's job are two totally different things.
Yep.
But you take everything into account because you experience both sides of it.
Yeah.
And you take the pride that you take in it, but also the accomplishments that you make and the problem solving that you do is beyond any single company I can say wholeheartedly and confidently that I've ever experienced as a performer in 24 years.
I'm gonna say whatever. Obviously, I love you guys, but when I see like on Facebook, like people just tagging you, pictures, because like, and then there's the gigs that we did, like, because we played Carol Lee, and then we might start off 3:00 with Carol Lee, and keep going, and then and then me and Sonia hanging out with you, right, and then you're like, just the way you treat the other bands, right, like I like we're taking selfies behind the drummer, because I'm hanging out with you, right. People love that stuff, and then they keep posting it and just saying this was a fun vibe, right?
It's supposed to be fun. I think a lot of people forget.
It's not a lot of people. It's the sound people.
It's sound people, yeah. And it's
but not your
unfortunate.
sound people.
No. And I won't. I've actually I've turned people away from what I've seen them post on Facebook, and it may seem wrong, but I sit there and go, your attitude sucks. And our attitude at RENTASTAGE is, this is supposed to be fun. We relish it. We love to work hard and play hard. And I put it like, that's all on my Facebook page. Work hard, play hard. It's because that's what we do. We get up before everyone else and we go to sleep after everyone else. And it's a long day. And I love absolutely every second of it. You're sweating in the sun, the rain's pouring on you, whatever it is. And you're dealing with some real big issues, and it has to go perfect. There is no second chance. And I really relish in that, right? There's no second chance. There's no second chance to go, do your set again and I'll make it sound better. You literally are trying to do it on the fly, and a lot of people don't see that side of it. And I love that. But I also want to have fun doing it. So, it's great when my friends are performing, which was, when we did your gig in live, I was like, oh, everyone I know is here, and that is awesome. And
there's a boost of adrenaline right there,
and I'm
right?
of course I do my job, but this is even easier because they're all just the best of musicians. So okay,
yeah, why not?
Well, Chris was hanging around. I'm like, you're going home? He's like, no, man, you built a good lineup. I'm gonna hang around. Right?
That's the thing, right?
Exactly.
So I'm just gonna speak to the fact that there's people that are built for this kind of work, because years ago I did work. I worked for All Star Sound down in Fort Lauderdale, and we did sound for the Temptations, or at least the new iteration of the Temptations. And I was doing all the daisy chaining and all the monitor work, right? Because I was a singer, and they said, "Hey, you know what singers would like and stuff." like that. And a lot of the time, it's like when you're starting, it's like that's how you start. It's just like this is what you do. This is what you're going to look for. This is what they're going to look for. So you know how hot you want to make the monitors up front and stuff like that. And I fucking hated it. Not that I'm just not built for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not built for it.
And that's
not
okay.
That's not my expertise.
Yeah.
I respect the fact that there's people that specialize in that stuff. But us as musicians, we just want to show up, right? So when you're hiring RENTASTAGE, expect to show up and sound great. That's just what it boils down to. You
Honestly,
have so much less worry.
Every Monday I'd see Leo. And it was always like, yeah, everybody liked my gear. Like Leo was so worried about fucking the band members liking his gear, the back line, right? And I'd be like, and all the Facebook posts and Instagram posts with you in them. I just honestly this is. Oh my God!
You know what?
Joked up here, but
I get it. It's weird
comfort.
because
the comfort.
How many times have especially for you because you play bass, you show up on a gig and you're looking at the bass record and you're like, oh,
this will be interesting.
Okay, sound guy doesn't listen to me. And it was the first thing when Chris and I expanded rent a stage from just the stage, because that's how it started, was just stage. And we were like, we had gear between him and I for backline. We had some, but we didn't have an extensive anything. And then I said, well, if we're going to do these bigger shows, like, you know, we do the Canada Day Q107 show, right, which is a big show for Toronto. We do the Toronto International Beaches Jazz Festival, which international artists from around the world come to Toronto and play this massive, festival for a month. And, you know, I said, we can't have just okay gear. You need to have, you know, specialized gear that touring musicians go, yep, I'm comfortable plugging into that, because when they're comfortable plugging in it, they know they can perform the way they want to perform. And it's very important to us, where a lot of other production companies don't care, and they'll send out whatever. I've watched drum kits get sent out that have broken like batter heads, like broken, like there's a hole in the part where you're going to hit the drum.
Yep.
And the drummer who's going to show up is going to be like, my instrument is broken. You know, like,
what are you gonna do?
How do you even allow that to happen? But it happens, right? And I've shown up on gigs as a musician and been like, yeah, that guitar amp has a blown speaker, like, and you didn't
Just
hear that?
fuzzing out through everything.
You know, so it affects your psyche as a performer. So when I'm doing sound, I go, like, let's make them as at ease as possible so that they can play the show they want to play. And to be honest, the people in the crowd who are non-musicians can go, man, that sounds fun and good, and they're looking like they're having a great time, and that's what I came here to do in the first place.
Yeah.
Right?
So
It seems like a simple thing.
We're going an hour and a half.
We're gonna.
I'm telling you this right now. I'm not done.
You know what? Let's just do a part 2. So,
Yeah,
like,
let's do a part 2.
honestly, like,
Because
people-
this is important.
people listen to, like,
There's
check out
so many facets.
rentastage.ca, right?
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
And we're gonna do part 2 with Leo, man. Why
Yeah.
not?
Cool. Awesome.
You know,
We're gonna be in
because
the
we
same
didn't even
clothes.
We didn't even talk
I'm
about
gonna wear the exact same shirt.
No,
Please.
we're gonna be in the same clothes. I'm not done.
All right.
We'll
Say
see you
bye,
next
Dan.
time. We'll see you in a little bit. Whatever. Bye, Manny.
Bye, Daniel.
Behind the Hooks with Manny DeGrandis.